I am here in London talking cats with the legend Dame Judi Dench.
And I'm here talking cats with the legend Mark Wright.
I'm never going to live that down. I just got called a legend by Judi Dench. Judi, it's amazing to see you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It's lovely being here.
Dame Judi Dench, how incredible was this? Transforming into a cat. What was it like?
Well, it was somebody else doing the work, actually.
Yeah.
Know? I was just saying, well, somebody else did all the CGI and made me into a cat, which I haven't, I've only seen one clip of. And seems I've turned into a cat I had once called Carpet.
Oh,
and
really?
I look remarkably like him.
Did you show them that before?
No, I didn't.
No,
he's reincarnated himself, I think.
Well, that is quite, I mean, that's quite lucky, right? Because I said to the other guys, if you, would you like to, did you get to choose what type of cat you'd like to be? And if you was to choose, it would be the one you were, right?
Well, I could have been Carpet, couldn't I? I might have chosen Carpet. But I've had many, many cats, 17 cats. I think,
okay, so you could have been
during the yes. I don't want to show too much preference for only one.
Yeah. Now, you were going to perform in this on stage, and then what happened? You got injured, right?
Snapped my Achilles tendon.
Wow, and how close to you performing this?
I was playing two parts, a Gumby cat and Grisabella.
Yes.
It was about, I think it was about, we've been at cat school for a very, very long time, something like 3 months, I think. I think it was about short of a month of opening.
Wow, is that how you got your injury from being at cat school? You snapped your Achilles. That happened to my friend. That's horrendously painful, right?
Well, strangely, and I knew what it was. It is like a gunshot going off. I've never quite... But when we were in the Comedy of Errors at Stratford, Nick Grace, playing one of the Dromios, jumped off the stage and exactly the same thing happened. He snapped his and heard that gunshot.
How long was you out for?
I was out for ages.
6 months or something like that.
Yes, nearly, I think.
Wow, incredible. But now you're here and you're doing the movie.
And I got to be in it again.
Yes. Do you think you would be in the movie if you was on stage too? Would you have done both?
I don't know. I've no idea.
Never thought about it.
Because it's not the same part.
No, that's true.
You know, I'm playing Brown Blessed, really.
Yeah, and let's talk about your part. What do you want people to take away from it?
Well, I hope
movie?
When it's CGI, you don't actually know quite what the finished person is going to look like. Yeah. So I imagined a much more kind of clapped out old cat.
Yeah.
Mangy, really. But I turn out to have a really wonderful coat. Frightfully pleased. I could walk down some kind of catwalk.
Yeah, catwalk. No pun intended. Why did you?
Pun intended. No, actually completely original.
Why did you expect to not have a nice coat and not be a nice looking cat?
Because old Deuteronomy has been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Been, in and out of places, and she's rather revered, or he, trans Deuteronomy, he's rather revered and keeps them all in order. So I thought well, maybe I do look older than everybody else.
No, you don't. Let's talk about the cast. It's an incredible cast. Were you familiar with most of the cast before?
No. Familiar, of course, with Ian,
yes,
who is an old mate of mine.
Yeah.
So that was a glorious day I had while he filmed Gus the Theatre Cat, and I lay in an enormous, much bigger than this, enormous cat basket and just watched him all day. It was heaven. It was heavenly. But then I had never seen Frankie Hayward. Not that I've seen her playing Juliet now, because she invited us to go to Covent Garden and sit in the wings. So we watched her playing Juliet in Romeo and Juliet. And she was here. I actually, as she turned, you could feel the wind from the dress. It was fantastic.
Incredible.
And she has such a beautiful face.
Yeah.
And singing voice. I mean, come on. So many
That's amazing of you,
Treats.
Judi, honestly, because we were just sat with Francesca right there and she was saying how starstruck she was when she met you and she was next to you and you're like a queen to her. The fact that, I mean, and why wouldn't you? I know your answer is going to be because you're such a kind, down-to-earth person, but some people would think, oh, if Dame Judi Dench is invited to somebody's show, she's not necessarily going to go, she doesn't need to. But the fact you went there, that must have meant the world to her.
We asked, I'm afraid, to go.
You asked her?
Rudely pushed ourselves in, yes, yes. And she's phenomenal.
Really, yeah.
And people, you know, it's hard. People don't think it's hard for me. It is very, very hard. And there are so many things to think about. I never saw her being ruffled for once, nor did I see any of the announcers be so.
Wow.
You know, doing those huge numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were called at something like 4:30 in the morning. And then they'd come in and then they'd do a class. Then they would do those numbers. And at the end of it, you know, while Tom was checking on everything, they'd just be standing there and chatting and talking and pretend smoking, which I doted on.
Yeah.
They pretended to be having a cigarette thing. How do you think it went? Okay. And nothing there at all.
Why were they doing that?
Well, just, you know, a kind of wonderfully relaxed thing. It would inform you that you'd stop for a minute.
Right, yeah, okay.
You know, I loved it.
And you just spoke about Francesca there, and there's people from all walks of life in this movie, singers, legend actors like yourself and Ian, and then you have obviously ballerinas. But what about Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift's in the movie. Were you familiar? Have you met her before?
Well, my grandson is an absolutely huge Taylor Swift because I knew her through him, and he came that day with me.
Did he get a selfie?
I asked him, did he get a selfie?
Yeah, with Taylor.
She was sitting watching something, and she went and sat next to him. He sat. Well.
Did he play
I
it
was
cool?
standing on some stairs and I kept watching. I thought, I'm not, you know, the camera's here. I'm thinking, look at Taylor Swift sitting next to Sammy. Absolutely, she was just charming to him, sweet to him.
Really?
But, you know, I mean, it was overcoming all of it.
Oh, incredible. Was Sammy, did he play it cool? Or was he like completely starstruck?
He was a bit like, you know, he didn't get to talk. It was all right. It was very sweet of her.
Yeah. I need to mention one of my favourite franchises ever, and I love you in it, James Bond, of course. Do you miss doing it?
Well, I did a long time
Yeah.
of it. I did 18 years of it.
Yeah, I know.
And 8 films, if I'm to count the 2 hours I spent on Spectre. Doing the little television thing.
Yeah.
So I had a most glorious time. I miss the fun we had.
Yeah.
And the larks we had. And after I complained and said, you know, I never get sent anywhere. I'm stuck in that old place, that old office. I never get. So the next film, which I can't remember what it was, Word Is Not Enough maybe, we went and filmed at Stowe School. And they gave me a big trailer with Innsbruck on the side. And Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson said to me, you can't complain again. You've been in Innsbruck. But then I did get to Nassau. I mean, it was lovely. And it's somehow, well, it was in a way glamorous.
Yeah, for sure.
Very glamorous.
The fact that you've been in 8 movies of James Bond, done it for 18 years, does that... I mean, I'm not an actor, so I don't know. Does the magic leave you in this sense? So in the next movie that Daniel Craig's doing that you're not going to be in, will you be watching? Will you be a fan of it still?
Oh, yes, I expect so. Oh, I expect so.
Amazing.
But my passion, though, is Shakespeare, and has been all my life.
Yeah.
And my years at the Vic, 5 years at the Vic, and then at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and the National and everything. I mean, the thought of going and doing some great Shakespeare play tonight, I'd be so excited. Yeah. And that's never left me, ever.
Oh, that's amazing.
Whereas filming, I've had to learn a great deal about filming because I was told very early on that I would never make films.
Wow.
This very nice director, I've never told anyone who it was. He said, well, very interesting meeting you. He said, I'm sorry, you'll never make a film because everything's not quite right. He said,
oh, no, really? Oh,
and I went back to the old Vic singing and dancing.
Oh, incredible.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.